Hello all. Sorry we're at an angle. This is the best I could get it. We are outside of Wickenburg, Arizona. As you can see, we are not in the northern hinterlands of Minnesota. Is that coming? Oh, good, it's coming in. A lot of people like how I do these videos. Well, not half of them. A small vocal minority. Yeah, that's dangerous. Yeah, it's like, dude, I'm like having a conversation. Like, seriously, it's no different than having a conversation. So, oh, now someone calls. Is this important? No, this isn't important. Well, it is important. Anyway, I want to talk to you today about the Lord Savior Jesus Christ. No, we're going to talk about the simplicity of capitalism. I was listening to the Black Brigade. You can go visit them at blackbrigade.org, and they're talking about the Minnesota Blueprint, and I think it's some kind of Tea Party or conservative outfit that put together this blueprint for Minnesota. And they were talking about the economic section of it, and it went through all this, admittedly right, when I was listening to it, it's overly complicated, very overly complicated. Like the 3 things a tax must have, and I realized that it is such a stupid thing we have to do to argue the merits of capitalism, and I think we fail in this battle because we make it more complex than it needs to be. In other words, I've been looking into this a little bit more. Instead of looking forward in terms of advanced forms of economic study and sociological study and political study, we look backwards and look at things simplistically, logically, commonsensically. And I fear that, I know for the most part, pretty much all the social sciences, which aren't sciences, have been corrupted by politics, not to mention ego, and made way more complex than they actually are. I mean, education is a perfect example. Education, Jesus fucking Christ, Common Core, or Curriculum Core, whatever it is, making these poor kids do this weird fucked up math. It shows you that they've made it more about their egos and more about the science and study itself than what a science or a study should serve humanity. I mean, literature is another perfect example. Write good books. That's the whole point of literature. Write good playwrights. Write good movies. That's it. No, Jesus Christ, we gotta fucking make it painful and pointless and a chore that nobody likes to read anymore. They'd rather watch movies, or there's nothing wrong with that. But economics, I think, is the exact same thing. So I'm going to try and give some very simple concepts or observations here about capitalism or free markets to an attempt to convince people. And we're not going to convince you. You're not going to read a 50-page paper this thick with algorithms and formulae that are pages long and then contain all the Greek symbols. I'm going to try and which is corrupted and has no veracity whatsoever. So I'm going to try and discuss on a simple, we're going to boil it down, we're going to bring it down to the basics of economics. So now let's look at capitalism and free markets. One thing I really don't get, and again, don't understand why we're spending so much time arguing it, is how the average person cannot understand how free markets and freedom is not the most optimal, logical choice. I understand parasitism, I understand getting money for free, I all understand that, but if we're going to vote in something, do you want to vote in more government, more rules, more laws, more taxations, or do you want the people to be free? And I don't care what your political motivations are, because I know too many people are greedy and parasitic, but on an intellectual level, what kind of country, what kind of economy, what kind of world and society is going to do better? One where people are allowed to keep the vast majority of their wealth and therefore are incentivized to work hard, create, innovate, produce, or one where people are disincentivized, especially if you have a progressive tax rate, those who are the higher producers and the higher achievers. Oh yeah, you're always going to have your Bill Gates and your Plunk. What was it, Plunk's first name? You're always going to have innovators and creators, but not to the extent if you truly unleash and just let people do what they want. If someone's got to go, I mean, Lord knows how many Bill Gates have been kept in because they got to go pay extra taxes, or they never could get out of poverty because they weren't allowed to keep the vast majority of their money. And then those are like saying, whoa, wait, work how much and then pay how much in taxes? Fuck it, I'm going to make my $100,000 and never do anything ever again. Larger point being is, ask yourself this question: which society, which economy is going to be more productive and more producing? One where people are free to do what they want, keep the lion's share of their money, or one where it's like, oh no, we're all equal. And we've tried it. They've tried it. They tried it in Russia. They tried it in North Korea. They tried it in East Germany, and they didn't do it in West Germany. They tried it in North Korea, South Korea. Dude, they've tried it, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Don't point out fucking Sweden, and don't point out Finland or Norway. Norway relies on oil, and Sweden and Finland, how many times have they filed for bankruptcy? Not to mention what's happening to them now. All I'm saying is, on a logical standpoint, where do you think success and achievement comes from? Does it come from commune? Does it come from we all go to state schools? Does it come from you must think a certain way and be politically correct and obey and say the right things? Or does it come from creativity, thinking outside of the box, outside the box, individuality, the individual? It's shameful what's happened to, Lord knows how many geniuses there may have been if you're just allowed to speak truth and not worry about political correctness or diversity hires, or it is truly the best person wins. The other thing of many is, what kind of world do you want? Now, a lot of people, well, that won't be fair. There'll be people who have more than other people. Yeah, because guess what? Some people are better. Did he say other people were? Yes, I did. I did say other people were better. So I'm terribly sorry, because I don't give a shit about feelings. I only give a shit about what's true. Some people are better humans, and not only that, some people, here's what's really going to piss you off. Some people aren't just better humans. Some people are more evil. Some people are evil humans, but they're smarter, and they still make more money than the average good person does. I know, it sucks. So what do you want to do? Implement a system that isn't based off of that? Larger point is this: what kind of system do you want to have? One where everyone is equal, or one where people are not equal but everybody has higher standards of living than the system where everyone's equal? Because here's what the whole benefit of capitalism is: if you could just simply get over envy and greed. If you let people, where do you think all this production and create? Look at the roads I'm driving on. We're in the fucking desert. Look at this. We're in the fucking desert. You know why we're in the fucking desert? Because somebody came up with air conditioning. Some capitalist, some evil, rich white guy, probably, not even rich, but he ended up becoming rich, probably said, hey, you know what? Kind of sucks living in the desert, but it'd be nice because it ain't cold during the winter. If we could get through the summers and maybe make things cool, then things would be a lot better. Now we got a fucking highway going out to Phoenix, Arizona. I wonder who came up with pay. People who wanted to make money. Now, did I come up with air conditioning? No. Did I come up with how to pave roads? No. Right? But look who's benefiting. I got an air conditioning button right fucking here. I'm driving on these roads right fucking here. I'm benefiting from this. Even though I'm on the poor dregs of society, I live a standard of living compared to the world that is very, very, very high. And I never thought once to say, well, that guy's got $1 billion. He benefited from suburbia privilege, or WASP privilege. Never dawned on me. I'm like, shit, dude, look, I got like $300 cash. I'm going on a road trip, bitches. And now I am better. And the cell phone, it rang. I benefited from this. You all benefit from this. Oh, but let's get all pissed off because the guy who invented it, or he's dead now. Although cell phone technology was not, Steve Jobs. You got to get pissed off at him because he made your lives easier. He afforded all this for you. He's alive. He's one of these people that allows you to talk to your friends while driving on roads that other people made possible that wouldn't have even existed in the first place had air conditioning not been made, which made it that Phoenix would never existed in the first place. Are you fucking joking me? Who gives a shit if you're in the bottom 20%? Fuck, you're living the dream, man. What life would you rather have? One where we're all communists, we all are the exact same, not only in income, but in terms of being allowed to perform and achieve? Not to mention, Lord knows how much you gotta think the right way, otherwise you go off to the gulag. Or would you rather have this? I'm a poor motherfucker. I mean, I'm not dirt poor, obviously, but I ain't no fucking rich guy, that's for certain. And all you guys can do is look at the people who have more and bitch and whine and complain because you don't have as much as they do. Meanwhile, you live these lives that you are so clueless about, so unappreciative about because of capitalism. So the simple economic point or argument that I want to make is, what would you rather have? A society like North Korea where we're all equal? And even then, if you look at the Gini coefficient, if you want, you can look that up. The more communist, the higher the Gini coefficient actually. Do you want where we're all commiserating in misery together? Or do you want a society that obviously has winners and losers, but even the losers get to enjoy this shit? Ain't nobody stopping you going on the highway. Ain't nobody stopping you getting from McDonald's. Ain't nobody stopping you going to national parks. So I don't get it. I don't, and this is I think the way the argument has got to go for capitalism, for economics, for the future, blah blah blah, and the rest of humanity. Because you got to realize that capitalism, even though quote it's not fair, actually it's quite fair because you work in a good capitalist system, which we don't have, by the way. I understand actually trust me, I understand the criticisms of crony capitalism, absolutely. But in a system that actually worked at one time, it was proven empirically to be ideal. What would you rather have? This? Or would you rather have communism? Would you rather we're just all commoners and no? And yes, there's going to be winners and losers. But would you rather be what do they call it? Third string? Who wins? The third string team of who won the Super Bowl? Was it Denver? Who was even in the Super Bowl? Oh no, the Patriots. They always win the Super Bowl. There's some guy, right, who never even got on the field probably on the Patriots. He's at the bottom rung dude. He still won the Super Bowl. He was still there. Do you want to be a winner of the Super Bowl, or do you want to be one of those fucking losers that never even make it to the NFL? Not that you're a loser if you didn't make it to the NFL. I'm just saying, think long and hard, right? Stop looking at what other people have that isn't yours and you didn't work for, frankly. It's not your fucking money. Too fucking bad for you. I understand crony capitalism, bailout of the banksters, I hate them as much as you. But in general, most people work for their money. And if you're a lazy, whiny little fucking, oh, poor woe's me, I'm discriminated, I'm disadvantaged, I'm the 99%. Go fuck yourself with your own dick, and if you don't have a dick, grow one, find one, and shove it up your own ass. Because you are unappreciative of what you have the potential for right here in the United States of America, still, relatively speaking, but largely capitalism. Our poorest of the poor do better than pretty much anywhere else, and even most countries, the richest of the rich. Without capitalism, you wouldn't have had any of this shit. And all you can do is focus on that you don't have a goddamn Maserati, or you can't afford an Armani suit, or I don't know what. And I'll tell you something here. Now, I've been a minimalist too. I'm not dirt poor. I do afford some luxuries. You know what's funny about luxuries? The occasional ones that I have for a 40th birthday party, took this road trip. I don't care how fancy the food is. It really is hard to beat a Chipotle fajita. It really is. It's hard to beat a steak and cheese sub sandwich. It really is. There's always going to be somebody richer. There's always going to be someone that has more. And then when you actually get a little taste of that, you know what? It ain't that great. Focus on your friends. Focus on the fact that you live in one of the greatest countries on the face of the planet. Focus on the fact you get to do this shit. Focus on the fact that you get to have videos like this and you don't have to worry about going to jail or fucking people suing you. Focus on your friends and just be happy. There's always going to be somebody richer than you. Always. Unless you're the richest man in the world. But then I don't know. You get pissed off at God. I don't know what you... But Jesus Christ, can you not appreciate what freedom, letting humans be free and not be slaves to other people, have done? Anyway, that is my simple argument for capitalism. I'm not going to show you charts and data, and besides which no one listens to it. I just hope you pontificate and think things through and think about what I said and say, look, what kind of life do I want for myself? What kind of life do I want for my children? I'm going to sit here and bitch and whine about other people having more money and how unfair it is. I'm going to look and say, oh, whoa, shit, you know what? We got clean water, we got highways, we got planes, we got cell phones. The poorest of the poor has all this. You know, You want to get pissed off because somebody makes an extra 50 grand a year that you do and call them evil or privileged or whatever. Well, that's going to be a really fucking sucky, self-torturing life. And you deserve it, frankly. That's all we got. Toodles.